Hello, 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 and welcome to iShine Podcast. I am your host, Angela A. Love Lewis, and I'm super excited because tonight is a super treat for me. I tell you, we have so many guests that come on to the iShine Podcast, and we have opportunities to talk about so many things. However, tonight is the first time we get to talk about a subject that we rarely cover, that we rarely even hear about. And I think this is the time that you guys get to find out all about the rodeo, and not just the regular rodeo, but we are talking about, honey, Black Cowboys out here doing their thing, right? And we have none other than the director of the Midwest Invitational Rodeo, who is Miss Nicole Scott. Nicole, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
I am awesome. I'm so excited. And I want everybody, as people come on in, please like the broadcast, share it out to your pages, to your social media. If you got any, family members, grandkids, cousins, aunties, anybody that you think has not heard about what's going on in the rodeo world with the Black Cowboys, then they need to be here, right? Because listen, we know that there's so much culture involved in this, and Nicole is out here making it happen. She has positioned herself to really take this to the next level, and so we want to honor that and make sure that we get people on here who can hear what she has to say. So Nicole, I want you, if you don't mind, to just share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and how you got started in this thing.
You know what? My name is Nicole, and I'm from Michigan. I was right outside of Detroit, a small city right outside of Detroit. I'm from Inkster. Um, how I got started with this? My family and I moved to Denver about 22 years ago. We met some family members, in our community, people that you grow up with, or people that they just kind of take you into their wing, under their wing, and they become family. They're friends that become family. And so we met this couple that owned the Bill Pickett Rodeo, and it's been history since. So I grew up in a predominantly white school, in predominantly white schools, where during Black History Month, we didn't really talk very much about it, except for, we talked about Martin Luther King, we talked about Rosa Parks, and then we talked about slavery. So when I went to Denver and met this amazing couple, Lou Vasson and Valeria Howard Vasson, it was just an eye-opening experience. And so, my Uncle Lou, we went on the road, or we experienced a couple of rodeos together. And it was amazing because I got to see people that look like me, that I didn't even know existed. I got to find out that the first cowboy looked like us. That wasn't it wasn't the Lone Ranger. It wasn't the Tonto. It was people, like Bass Reeves and Stagecoach Mary, and people that you never heard of, or that they didn't teach you about. Black History Month is 28 days, and so I guess we just filled it up full of other things that didn't that didn't really hit close to home, where we could be have pride or be prideful of. So I got into it about 21 years ago. I started traveling with my Uncle Luke. We would go to different markets in different areas, and then my Aunt Valerie would come on the road, and we would just you would see different things that were happening. You would see people tailgating and people just waiting, and just a family experience. And Midwest Invitational, we try to take it to a different level. We take it to the next level. What we do is we try to educate a little bit more, but it's more subliminal messages. We do reenactments of different, I guess, characters, as you would call, or different heroes of the Wild West. I had no idea that the Pony Express was us, just different people. So I'm hoping that if you know where you came from, you might have a little bit more pride, or you might know that if you can see it, you can be it. So I guess that's a little bit about me.
Okay.
Created a dream, just hanging out, rodeoing, and just going to the rodeo. I'm not a contestant at all. I don't ride. I mean, I'll get on a horse, but I don't compete. those ladies out there that are out there, those cowboys and cowgirls are extreme athletes, and
Mm.
we don't really know. We don't know that there's, so much opportunity in just learning and knowing and being and seeing.
Wow. And the crazy thing about it is, I know I was looking because it was saying the story of the Black Cowboy has never really been lost. And that's so funny because, like you say, when you start talking about um, Black history, when you start talking about all of those things, of course, we talk about slavery and,
Yeah,
the people who invented things. And so, but that's not all that there is to our history. And it says it's never really been lost, but it's very rarely been told.
very true, very true. And you know what? The story being told, um, we kind of lose things in generation. Like
Mhm.
we don't have the opportunity to sit down with our grandparents, or we don't go south like we used to. I, as a youth, used to go and spend my summers, in that, like, right outside of Nashville in Columbia, Tennessee. Um, we don't do that like we used to. And then, there's so many other things going on. I mean, just to sit there and have a conversation, with a grandparent or just an elder. My arena director, he came to Detroit. He's from Oklahoma. And the first time he came to Detroit, he was like, "Nick, it's a food desert. Where do you go to the grocery store? Where I just see party stores and corner stores and all these things." And so, being from a city, we don't really realize that. We don't know that. We don't, it's a hobby and not a job to go out and start a garden. But we don't know that we could, if you plant tomatoes and I plant, greens or carrots or potatoes or whatever, we can feed a lot of people. So um, that's one of the things that I try to impress or show. At the rodeo, I invite the 4-H. We have the 4-H that come. We have urban farmers. We have bees in the D. There's so much to learn. And while I have, last year we did about 5,000. This year we're hoping to do about 57, 6,000. When you and I first met, you said Midwest International, and yes, that's what I'm trying to do. So your lips to God's ears.
Yes, come on, God. Listen, from my lips to God's ears, absolutely. Because I know that you all go from city to city, but where was the first one at?
You know what? The first one, I believe we did it in Denver. It was a it wasn't the Midwest. It was actually the Bill Pickett. And there are a lot of rodeos. There's, rodeos in Oklahoma. There's rodeos in small little towns that we don't really know about or that we hear about, and we're like, yeah, we don't really want to go there. I mean, these are people's, there's their way of life. Like, well, we might go play golf or tennis or, swimming or whatever. This is what they do. This is what they do. There's rodeo scholarships that, who would have thought that you could be a professional cowboy? You don't get to see that. And for us, the money is not in it like it is in mainstream. So,
Yes.
just the opportunity to be able to see things and to be able to be things. I want to open those doors because not everybody, I mean, my kids are, I'm not going to say they're Amazons, but my kids all play basketball or played basketball. My son is 6'9".
Mhm.
I don't see him on a horse, but I also don't see, not everybody has a jumper, so not everybody, there's so many other ways that you can get to school, or maybe you're not into certain things. It's giving us options, being able to expose, our youth to so many different things. And you know
Mhm.
what, being a farmer is a loss, I guess, a lost trade. And there's certain things that we shouldn't lose. We did well at it and we do well at it. And, just don't give up your property and don't give up, learn other ways to use it.
Right. And it's so intriguing because, like you said, when we start thinking about, I guess career paths, especially for our young Black men,
Yeah.
it typically leads to athleticism, but not in the mindset of cowboys. But like you said, when you talk about basketball, football,
Yeah.
maybe even baseball or soccer,
Yeah.
but we don't really even tend to think about, cowboys being a sport or where an athlete can really go and hone his skills and learn, because a lot of our kids don't even get a chance to ride horses. So when you think about urban farmers, you don't even really think about
Yeah.
fish. I mean, maybe fishing. But at the same time, when you think about pastimes and growing up and things like that, horses were not something that we were typically able to get on and learn how to ride and get and excel in on that level. So I guess, can you share a little bit about the culture and what makes people, in a position to start even getting into this field?
You know what? It's funny because my daughter actually, my middle child, wanted to. She would go to the rodeo, or that was something that they had to do in the summer. We would help out or try to volunteer and do as much as we can. And she got the horse riding bug. And with that being said, she got it, kind of late at age. And
Mm-hmm.
some of the schools that she was at, the kids would refer to her as, being of non-color, or, oh my God, you have, such white girl habits, or whatever. And you take her to, we have a Buffalo Soldiers camp here or a farm here in Detroit that's in the inner city of Detroit. And so you take her and she picked it up and she enjoyed it. And she got to, it's a sport. It's something that you become one with, an animal, and you're learning it to, teaching it to ride and go left and go right and perform for you while you're performing on it. So I guess just introducing people to it. I have a young lady that, I thought she was not pretty worldly, but she had got out and traveled a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but she had never heard a horse neigh, and you're like, wait a minute, but there are no horses at the zoo. So when do you hear a horse neigh, or when do you get to see something like that? And then,
Mm-hmm.
my arena director, one of the, the judges that comes in and helps, when I was talking about, this being a food desert, one of the things that he was saying is, we don't know where our meat comes from. We don't know the difference between, a milking cow or a cow that we have, we use for beef. That's kind of good to know. There's different types of sheep. I mean, some of these things are maybe not, that fundamental or that interesting to the average person, but there's
Mm-hmm.
somebody that's out there that wants to do something like that. They may not they want to be a doctor, but they might like animals. So,
Yeah.
having a partnership with 4-H, we're introducing them to veterinary school.
Yeah.
I just heard of an organization called Manor, which is the Minorities in Agriculture, which, here in the North, we don't know anything about that, but, they're trying to start a chapter. So, we've been partnering up with this school, University of Kentucky, Lexington, and, they want to come to the rodeo and they want to hear and they want to see. And I'm thinking to myself, it seems like you guys would know a little bit more about rodeoing or about horses or whatever. It's having the opportunity to expose people to, or opening our eyes, or allowing us to know that we have options. So, your question was, how do you get into it? You just see it, you could be it, you could try it, you can, the sky's the limit, with these days where I wasn't exposed to it. So I didn't know. So the more we expose, we might have the next rodeo professional, Tiger Woods of rodeo that looks like you or looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
We may be able to have someone, if we get together. There's several other Black rodeos that are going on, but if we're able to come together and create, a national Black rodeo circuit, um,
Yeah.
maybe we can get the money where, people could win, like $100,000 or $200,000, or just like they, win money in the mainstream rodeo, and
Yeah.
then see someone's career.
That's amazing. I know. And I'm so glad because Linda Hunt, was the person who told me
Yeah.
about you. And she was just like, you got to have her on your show, to talk about the Black rodeo and Black Cowboys, and how, I'm a Southern girl. I grew up in Tennessee. And so, like you say, you don't really hear about, a lot of rodeos. You don't see all of that. And so you would think, even though I know out in the Midwest, you think more of, Texas and Oklahoma, you think of cowboys out in that area, but then when you come south, you also think of, growing up on farms. So I'm familiar with horses, but at the same time, I didn't grow up, with riding horses. So it's sort of like it's there, but we didn't embrace that particular part of the culture, and so I love that you are bringing awareness, that you are, expanding out your reach so that you can let more people know about it. And the beautiful thing you said earlier is it's not just cowboys, it's cowgirls too. So that means it's equal opportunity, ladies, for us to get out here and do some of these things that maybe we never thought we would be doing before. So how is it, or what's the experience like for the ladies? Are you seeing more women get involved?
The women are athletes. The women are athletes. They take this serious. They are, eat, sleep, drink. They do pretty much all the things that the guys do. The upper body strength that it takes to snatch a horse, or to get in, to grab it, to groom it, to make sure that it's healthy. We're doing it too. They're doing it, and the women that we have. There's a young lady a friend of mine that her name is Carolyn Carter.
Mm-hmm.
When she walks into a room, people just stop, because she's been doing it for so freaking long. And amazing. Her family, all rodeos. Her brother, I believe, was a professional athlete, a baseball athlete. But they've owned their own. Like they're now her granddaughter rodeos. Well, first her daughter rodeoed, and then now her granddaughter rodeos. But they have the opportunity, and they're expanding. Someone like that, I would love to. And I've been talking to her about it probably years now. Doing a summer camp. We have so many summer camps of doing things, but if we can grab the young ladies to do it too, there's rodeo scholarship for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, again, just exposure. If you can see it, you can be it. That's really the whole message that I want, us to know. There's nothing that we can't do, or at least try.
Exactly. And I guess that's what I'm so excited that Linda told me about you, because it's just opening up your mind to the possibilities of what can happen, outside of the norm. When you're thinking outside of the box, there's so many other career paths. There's so many other ways to display your athleticism. So being able to expose young boys and girls to a rodeo can really change how they see, even interactions with animals, being able to go out there and the showmanship that it takes to do that. That is, like you say, it's a whole entire skill. And so
It's a uniform that, you don't come into somebody's arena with your shirt, with your jeans hanging out, or hanging down. Your jeans are pressed. Your shirt could be 90, 100 degrees, and they have on, long sleeves. Respect that you have to that arena that you just don't see everywhere or with every sport. I mean, sometimes, like I said, my son played basketball. There's times before he gets ready to go in, he's got to stop and tuck his shirt in and do certain things and make sure he's together. These guys, are it's hot as heck out there. And, just to see him perform. And then, we talk about cowboys, or we look at cowboys, and, we think of, a knight in shining armor or whatever, but you know what, we're our own knight in shining armor. So we can see this. And when you see, this debonair guy that, is just like, yes, ma'am. And, just so respectful. And it's a culture. It's something that you're just like, you know what, mom, I want to be that. The cowboys that I have coming in, they come in, and I'm so blessed. They come in, like I have these couple gentlemen that come in, they drive from California, a 2-day drive, to come hang out with me for 2 days, to take another 2-day trip back. And you know what? It's just like, Miss Nikki, what can I do for you? And so when they're here, because they spend so much time, or they put in the work, we try to show them the city that they're in. We try to make sure that they enjoy. We try to make sure, because this is their vacation, within in our culture, we are not blessed enough, or haven't been blessed enough, to grab the big purse, which is the prize, where we could live off of a purse the whole year. So a lot of the cowboys and cowgirls, have second and third jobs to maintain this, because it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
But Linda came to one of our rodeos, and when she first did the interview with me, it was just like, what? In my backyard, just what's happening? And her producer, just came in the room, and he was like, okay, tell me about this again. And, for you and for we've seen it before. You said you grew up in Tennessee. My family roots are in Tennessee. It's just so, it's just say hello to something different. That's basically what I want.
I love that. Say hello to something different. And it really is, just even listening to you speak about it, I can tell that it's a passion of yours.
Yeah.
It's something that, you really get joy out of seeing people. And I love the fact that, how they carry themselves. It's the posture of a cowboy. And I think that sometimes when people think of cowboys, you don't even recognize that piece of it. But it is about, the being courteous. When I think of people, yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, the things that from a Southern perspective, we raise our children, to talk like that, to do that, and to have utmost respect for people. But to see that played out, at the same time in a sport that is very rough and tough, because I know when that horse is, out trying to buck up and do things, you've got to be able to control the horse, but you've got to maintain your posture. You got to, entertain the crowd. So it's a lot going on when you think about the shows themselves. So tell us, Nikki, how difficult is it to pull together an invitational rodeo to showcase all this amazing talent?
Well, you know what? It's difficult, but then it's a, what is it called? A crime of passion. Um, it's a lot of relationships. It usually, okay, so my rodeo is June 10th and 11th.
Okay.
So June 12th and 13th, I'm working on next year. We're trying to make sure that it's happening, because you have to, one of the things you have to get is you have to have the prize money. People don't just do this for trophies. They don't do it for ribbons or anything like that. It's a prize money because it is so expensive to be able to continue the sport. So that's something that you have to raise. There's sponsorship dollars that you have to get because you still have to hire a stock contractor. There's so many behind the scene things that people don't really know about. And then I always say, I guess it's flattery that people don't know about what you're doing, because if they, that means you're doing it seamlessly. If everybody knows what you're doing, then you're not doing something right. So I guess that's just working on it. It's a consistent work. I was also very excited. I was able to get the ear. At first, I underwrote it a lot myself. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm picking up other jobs. Doing different events for people to be able to afford to put this on, or to be able to put this on. This year, I was able to get with the NAACP. Reverend Wendell Anthony here in Detroit was, a big supporter. Field trades. So the labor unions are coming in. We're doing things where the skilled trades are looking for apprentice. And so I said, okay, well, come be a part of my rodeo. And they're like, Nikki, what are we going to do there? I said, what is you're going to set up some booths and you're going to introduce yourself to our community or just communities in general. And you're going to reach back and you're going to see if you can grab some people and encourage them or introduce them to skilled trades. We have a couple, Detroit is a big union town. So we UAW, the Ford UAW that's coming. We have, I have the sheriff that's running. We have the sheriff of my county. We have he's coming to support, but he also is coming to do a recruitment fair. So it's a little bit of everything. I try to do like a mixed bag. The rodeo is 7:00. It starts promptly at 7:00. But we actually do almost like a family reunion about 3:00. Our gates open. And we have about 40 vendors, 35 to 40 vendors.
Wow.
Right. Food vendors. We have a mechanical bull. We have a DJ. And we just really just.
Maybe the rodeo sound fun, doesn't it?
So we used to have something called the Michigan State Fair. And that we lost probably about 15 years ago. And what I'm trying to do is do something sort of like that, but I don't know if your church did it, but here where I'm from, we did something like an old fashioned Sunday where we all come together like a church picnic.
Yeah.
Get together. So I try to make it almost like a church picnic. So I have a bunch of different vendors and a bunch of different things going on where people can try different things. I have a lot of old school clubs. My ski club has been around for, I think we're going on our 62nd year. So and they pass out information or brochures, or they just let everybody know that they're in the house. And we have some urban farmers. We have a bass fishing team, a mesquite shooting team. Just so you'll know, like, we don't even know that these things are in our community.
Right.
You know,
I was
know
going to say.
this stuff. So, what I'm trying to do is pull it all together, where it's more than just a little bit more than just a rodeo.
Yes. But I love it because what I hear, number one, is that you run an operation in excellence because you said that, we start promptly at
Oh,
7.
oh,
You
yeah.
know,
If
so
it's 7:10 or 7, I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure out
what's going on?
Yes,
Why have we not started?
the music starts at probably around 6:50.
Mhm.
The arena director is intense. I guess we're all very intense. And plus, you know what? There's other people of other cultures that are coming. So we don't want things starting on CP time. I have 2 hours and 15 minutes to entertain you. I have
Mhm.
15 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes, because a movie, after a certain amount of time, you lose interest.
Right.
I try to make it as quick, as fast, as fun, as possible, but I don't want to keep you there all day. So that's one of the reasons why it's an invitational. It's not like an open rodeo where we could be there all day. It's an invitational where we invite
Okay.
the top, and the people that actually really want to be there. And like you said, yeah, time is of the essence. We definitely have to get in and get out. We want to get back to enjoying each other as well.
Yes, I think it was a little bit of the internet messing up there, but yes, I'm getting the gist of what you're saying because it's amazing. I'm listening to you talk about the level of exposure, that you're going to get, from being there. You're going to have a great time, but you're also going to be able to get exposed to things or groups or businesses that you typically don't hear from. And when you talk about urban farmers, I know I'm part of the CEO district, and one of the ladies on the senior leadership team, she's a urban beekeeper, and those are, people that you don't really see. So it really brings a sense of pride, when we see other people really out here in a craft or in an arena that you typically don't see. So it just really causes you to want to go out and find more. Now, I know that
Wish
you
I
mentioned earlier about
here.
Bill Pickett.
I wish you were here because the urban beekeeper. I mean, so tell me this, and I know this is your interview, but just on the side, beekeeping. What would make someone want to be? Because usually we run from bees. We're afraid of bees. We don't want to be anywhere near bee. But we
Right.
don't know that if you use the honey from the environment that you're in or from your community, it helps with your allergies. It helps
Mhm.
with fevers and flashes. It has, you can use the beeswax from we don't know that. So if we don't introduce each other to things like this, then how do we get to the next level? How do we educate each other, and how do we stop using, not that I'm not trying to use medicine, but if it's something that's a little bit healthier that I can use, then let's do that. Because, thank you for saying that. I'm excited to meet. I would love to meet you guys, or have you come up this way, please.
Yes, you know what? I just tagged her in the broadcast, but Dior is the lady that does that, and she is such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to talking about
Yeah.
honey and the benefits of honey. And she did a video where we saw her, really getting the honey out there, getting the bees, and trying to use the smoke to calm them down, and just so many different things. And it's just amazing to watch because that's not what we typically see. So I'm loving the fact that
So you
you are in a
exposing people to something different that they would have never thought. And she's a professional beekeeper. We're we
exactly.
Yeah,
Just doing big things.
yeah, yeah. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that.
You are welcome. So I'm gonna definitely make sure I get the two of you connected because I know you never know what kind of partnership can come out of that.
Yeah, please. I would love that.
So tell us about Bill Pickett. Because for a lot of people, if you don't know who it is and you don't know much about the Cowboys, tell us who he is.
So Bill Pickett was a cowboy that I believe passed away in the late 1800s. So he was a professional bull, a professional cowboy. So he was somebody that actually started a particular event, and that we've all honed on to that event. It's steer wrestling. So it was something that was a hobby of his, or
Mhm.
something that was a trick that he was only able to do. And now it's actually an event that we all do, or that we all try to do. And sharing that, we don't know where things come from. We don't know where things happen.
Yes.
And it came from somebody that looks like you. And now it's gone, years and years and years, and hopefully we'll continue to do it. We'll be able to, handle things.
That's amazing. I'm telling you, it's more and more information that you're dropping like this that, hopefully somebody will hear and just research, just go and look up and find out some things about what's going on. In the Black Cowboy world. And I know that, we talked about, I think I asked you earlier about like big name people, but you said it's really not about the big names as much as people who've been in it for a long time. So is this like how sometimes people say, you have a generation of farmers. So are they generational?
They are. They are.
Yes.
There are a ton of them. When I was talking about the Carters have been in it. Like I was telling you, this one particular lady, Carolyn Carter, she has been in it, and then not only this, her daughter Rodeo, now her granddaughter Rodeos, and they're all professionals. They're generations of cowboys. And they not breed but they're into where they continue to compete, and it's just like a one big family that come together, and they not only do they compete with each other, but they also try to help each other to get to the next level, and to get the exposure that they need, and that's what we try to do. A lot of I can't think of the name of the cowboy that came out with the song Country Road, or whatever his name.
Yeah.
We've
Mhm.
been, we've been rodeoing a lot longer than people that are now just discovering. You have automotive companies that are now discovering. Okay, so for you have a Bronco, so now you're going to use an urban cowboy um, to help advertise that. Or there's black rodeo, or black people that were getting to do it, and it's not even really about the color. It's almost about the acknowledgement, or more so about the acknowledgement that what, we're doing it too, and we do it well. And where we may not get the same sponsorship dollar, the more we do it, or the more we ban, or the more we watch, or the more we expose one another to it, the better it'll be, or the bigger it'll be. It's
Mhm.
not that I'm it's not that I'm just this militant person that's coming off. It's, if we know our history, if we know where we came from, then we may not do some of the things that we do, or we may have more pride in some of the things that we do, or be willing to try some of the things that we do because our ancestors said that we can do it. We might be able to grab someone and teach somebody this, or you know, there's so much that's learned. Like you could take a guy. We as women, and not every woman, but we don't talk to each other like the men do. Like when the men come together, or when they're at the barbershop, or when they're at the stables, or whatever, how if they talk to each other, and they teach each other, and they explain things to one another. We as a people, if we could do something like that, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do with our rodeo. Like we have the Buffalo Soldiers that tell stories. Um,
Mm.
our cowboys that are coming in earlier, and they're going to go into communities that they don't see very much diversity, and they're going to read a story. They're going to go out and they're going to talk. Or President Obama did started something called My Brother's Keeper.
Mhm.
So the cowboys that are coming in. So my rodeo actually starts on Friday. So some of the cowboys are coming in. There's a gentleman named Murdoch that's coming in on Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry, he's coming in Thursday night or Friday morning because he wants to go and he wants to speak to these groups. So
Mhm.
what they do is not only do they, like when with the football players and the baseball players and the basketball players, they go into the hospitals and they talk to the children and they see them and they, talk to the cancer patients or whatever.
Right. Right.
These cowboys want people to know what it is that they do, or they want to go in and see someone, or they want to go in and encourage someone else, or they want to go in and say, hey, you know what? I was you one day, or I was you back in the day, or,
Mm.
to have somebody go into, and you see a cowboy or a cowgirl, and it may be only two or three people that look like you in it, and everybody's hearing the story. There's a sense of pride that you sit up and you're like, hey, I want to hear this story. Know what's going
Exactly.
on or want to be said, because there's so many times that you don't ever see anybody that looks like you. So these guys come in and they are on a schedule where they go. I run them ragged. Not only do I make sure that they eat good or enjoy themselves, but I run them ragged because I want everybody to see. I want you. I'm very proud of my friends. I'm very proud of my friends that are now, I consider them to be family. I want everybody to know. I want people to see. Like if your girlfriend came in town and she was a beekeeper, everybody that I knew would meet her. I want people to know that you can do this too, no matter
Yeah.
how difficult it is or how weird it seems or how um, odd it may be. You know what? If you think you want something, why not try it? Learn about it. Read
Learn about it. Absolutely. I
the
see one of my friends, Ilyasa, is on here, and she says she loves the Black Cowboys. There's such comradeship in it. Um, to see how they work together and see how they show up. And I think that that's so important for us to show our young kids that you have people out here who are representing us well, and we need to tap into it. It's not always, that we need to just hear about slavery and how we overcame it. We need to hear about other stories because, like you said, going back to the Pony Express, who knew? That's not stories that we get to hear about often. Who knew that, Bill Pickett did what he did, unless you're in a certain arena and you hear those stories, but other people miss out. And so this is a great thing that you're doing, Nicole, giving people the opportunity and the exposure so that they know that there's a lot more to it. And there's some heroes out here who are really showing up. I'm telling you, it's just amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? It is nothing wrong with slavery. It's nothing wrong with our culture, our history, or anything like that. But
Mhm.
know more. We need to know more. We need to know, that we overcame so much, or there's so many things that obstacles that were put in front of us that we were able to um, overcome, or get to the next level, or um, make lemonades out of the lemon that we're
Yeah,
given. You know,
yeah.
something as simple as that.
Exactly. So let me ask you a question about the actual rodeo. So I know you have cowboys, and I know this is an invitational, but where do the animals come from? Are they bringing their own horses in, or?
So yeah, they do bring their own. They bring on their own animals to compete. So but we hire a stock contractor. We have somebody. It's not. I'm looking in my backyard. It's not like I have the cattle in my backyard. There's no
Mhm.
there. I live in the city. Um, so I don't live on a farm. So we do hire stock contractors. We find somebody that within a certain radius that will bring in the animals, so the people can compete.
Awesome, awesome. I'm telling you, this is such a good, rich topic because it's just giving us exposure. And I'm a visibility coach, so I love talking about visibility
Yeah,
and putting people in positions. And so I was getting ready to say when you talked about the vendors who are there, this is an awesome opportunity for Black business owners to get out there and get involved in the rodeo, to
yeah,
put your presence out there because you always want to look at exposing yourself to different audiences. And
exactly.
so you never know who's going to be your next best customer, who's going to be, you're only one person away from blowing up to a whole
Exactly.
new status.
Yeah.
And you got to show up. And so this is just a perfect opportunity. And so I know that your next event is coming up. You said June the 10th,
June 10th and 11th. Yes, yes,
10th and 11th.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So what's next after that?
You know what? Your words again. The Midwest Invitational. You called it international. I have been blessed to have the opportunities that I have people calling me saying, "Okay, Nicole, we love your show. We love what you do. We love the professionalism that's in it, and we love the camaraderie around what it is that you do." So you know what? Keep your fingers crossed and say a prayer for me. But people are calling me to come do rodeos in their town.
That's so awesome. It's awesome. Hey, Latoya and Ilyasa, thank you, ladies, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. And Nicole, I'm just, like I said, so impressed with being able to have information, especially about things that are going on, and it's operating in excellence. And it is a place where, we're drawing people into more information about the culture, because again, the stories of the Black Cowboys, like I said before, it's not that it's lost, it's just rarely told. And the more we get people to participate and go and just, research and find out. So where can people go to learn more about you and what you do with the Invitational?
You know what? I invite everybody here to home. I mean, I want everybody to meet my friends and family. I invite you all to come. We have websites. There is also another, just look in your town, or look at towns near you. There's traveling rodeos. There's something called the Black Rodeo USA. Of course, Bill Pickett is the granddaddy. It is the finale. I take my hat off to my Aunt Valeria, who has, kept it going. It's worth a trip. It's worth, a car ride, one with those one tank trips. It's worth it, and also pay attention. I was very blessed to have a friend of mine, not knowing that it was a friend of mine. We having a connection. He owns a Black Spirits company, or he brings in Black Spirits, Uncle Nearest and Dukes and Dales. We don't know anything. Did you know that Uncle Nearest, the story of Jack Daniels and Uncle Nearest? And
I do, because I'm right there.
hell, these are the things that,
Yes.
so blessed that they are. So now they're sponsored. So the Black Spirit,
Beautiful.
this pole barn that we are calling it the Legacy Lounge. And so with
I like that. The Legacy Lounge. Oh, that's cute.
called the Legacy Lounge. So we have there's Black people that own beer companies, and salted caramel whiskeys, and we do more.
That sounds good. So,
Yeah, so we're bringing that together. We're bringing groups. If you call me and you say, hey, Nicole, I'm starting off. I want to be the next Carol's daughter. I want to be the next, fashion fair or whatever. You know what? I started there. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It wasn't something that, was just given to me. It wasn't anything that was gifted. Like I said, I worked 2 and 3 jobs to make sure that this happens. And before there was any sponsors, you're praying and you're hoping and you're out there and you're trying to make sure, okay, the ticket sales, you have your ticket sales, and then you got to make sure that you cover this, and you got to pray that you have enough people that come in to balance this out. And then you got to price the ticket right to do all this. You know what, that cost me a lot of stress. I don't know if you see the gray hair or whatever, but it's being able to talk to you and talk to Miss Hunt. This is a week out before my rodeo, and it's a lot of stress. There's a lot of things that are going on, but it has been such a blessing. Other organizations have called me, potential sponsors have called me. People are actually hearing about it, and the word is getting out, where before, I could knock on these doors or talk to these people, and they were like, we don't know nothing about rodeo. We don't. But the show that we're doing, and the word is getting out, and the opportunity is coming. And, if you all just keep me in your prayers, I pray for you, you pray for me. We just, it happens. It can happen.
It can definitely happen. Yeah. So let's say this, because, as you're talking about sponsorships and all of that, what does it take to have you come to somebody's town?
You know what? It's funny that you ask. I actually put a lot into it myself. Like I come to your town, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to go try to help you find sponsors, help you find vendors. We do a lot. We have a great social media presence. We now have a partnership with Duke and Dames, with the Black Spirit organizations.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes us together, pulling it together. I have someone that's reaching out to me in Dayton, Ohio. And so I have an organization where, help me secure the venue, because I can't live there. I have to come in and pop out. I'll come in and visit. I'll get on the phone. I'll do whatever it is necessary. But we need to have boots on the streets.
Yes.
We need to have you out there and saying, okay, so with me, I wanted to do a rodeo. And then the people that I wanted to do a rodeo with challenged me. And they said, you know what, Nikki, you don't have enough money. We don't know that it's worth us coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my church. I went to the church that I grew up in and my family grew up in. And the pastor said, you know what? We're going to pray on this. Come back in a week. He said, okay. I came back in a week. He said, I don't ever want to see you look that stressed out, sister. I don't want to, you don't ever need to look that bad. The church that I came from bought the first 100 tickets. So that gave me a start. And
Wow.
then I got a group that came in and they bought tickets, but they were underprivileged and they can buy the tickets, but they needed me to provide lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Said something to my aunt, and she was like, you know what, Nikki, let's make this happen. Then my family had a meeting, and my family sold 750 tickets on their own, pre-sale tickets, which gave me the opportunity to be able to pay the stock contractor, to be able to secure the arena, to be able to secure some stuff, because it was, they just showed up and showed out.
Amen to that. But you know what? I mean, when God wants something to come together, all you have to do is believe and the resources will come. And what you're doing is so necessary. And I'm again, shout out to Miss Linda Hunt for introducing me to Nicole, because bottom line, it just word needs to go out. But let me ask you this. So I know that you are putting together the invitationals, but what's your dream cities? Where would you like to be?
You know what? I would like to go to Louisville, just because there is some racial injustice that is happening there. I would like to go more so in like the Nebraskas and the Omahas and the, like us, Greenville, South Carolina. I just want to go places where, we are there, but
Yes.
we not beating our chest or not as prideful. I would love to go to like an Indianapolis, or, we were, my family and I, we traveled throughout, we moved in several different states. And
Mm-hmm.
at one place we lived in Goshen, New York. We lived upstate New York. And I remember going to the mailbox and my kids being in the little motorized car. And no, I don't even think the kids were with me, but this one lady was walking around the corner or walking up the street, and she put her hands together and she said, "In the family that you work for?" And I was just like, what? And this is my house. I'm living here. I'm on, and for her to say that. So I want other people that have children that look like mine to be able to say, no, my dad doesn't play basketball, or no, my dad doesn't do this or whatever. He has a regular 9 to 5, or he does this, or my mom, is able to put this together, and she's able to, I really just want to go to places where other people that don't look like us can see that we do other things besides what they see on TV, or the bad depiction of
Yes.
or seeing us in a different light, or knowing that, what, we ski, we're on Martha's Vineyard, we do things, we golf, we boat, we yacht, that. And
Yes.
also want these kids to know that you can do it too. One of the things that I do when the Cowboys come in, we usually hit a concert, and the concert is a beautiful off of Detroit River, and they see nothing but black boaters. And to me, I grew up like that. I mean, I grew up with them, and to hear them say, "Those are black boaters. Those are nice boats." So the next time they came in, guess where we were at? We were down there on somebody's boat. We want them to know that if you can see it, you can be it. You just have to see it. You don't have to.
Yes, Nicole. Yes. It's the
and
mindset. It's the mindset that needs to be expanded. And the fact that you have made a mission, and let me say hello to, some more people that tuned in. TT in Jamaica, thank you so much for tuning in. Latoya, we appreciate you all tuning in, to talk about Black Cowboys. And again, the excellence that you promote in all of your invitational rodeos. And to understand that, what they say, to whom much is given, much is required.
Yes.
Well, again, that speaks to being able to show people what's possible. And like you said, it's one thing to see other people on yachts, but when you start seeing your own people on yachts, now you know what's possible. When you see your own people skiing and doing these other things that they say is not for us, when you see more people that look like us on golfing and doing things, it lets you know what's possible. And you don't have to be limited to just, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with basketball or football. But at the end of the day, there's also other things that people can do. And if that's not your skill set, if your wheelhouse is not there,
Yeah.
then maybe the Cowboys, maybe that is something that you can do. Maybe you have a love that you never even knew about until you got out there and got caught up in what they're doing and see how they present themselves. And like I said, it's all about the posture, that they have. And
Yeah.
the misconceptions that come with a lot of things that people tell us about our history.
Yeah.
This is an excellent time to research and to tap in and go see one in person so that you can see for yourself what it looks like.
Yeah. And you know what? I thank Linda Hunt because she calls me every few days and she's like, you know what, Nicole, what can I do? What can I do to help you? What can I do? She doesn't ask for anything. She doesn't want anything. She doesn't. What can I do for you, sister of God, to help you? And I'm just like, and she calls me every 2 or 3 days to make sure that I'm good. And she's an author. And I'm like, you know what? How about this? You do so much for so many and you expose me. She introduced me to you. She's introduced me to other people. You know what? You're an author. I want the kids to see that you could be an author too. But let them see, you sitting at a table signing a book. The book that you may have paid $15 for today with your signature in it, it'd be maybe worth $1,500 later on.
Come on and speak in the code.
We need to be able to see it. We need to be able to
You
see
need to be able to see it.
whatever you want to do, whatever you think you want to do. You may not want to ride, but you may want to own the horses that other people ride.
Come on, because again, it is not one dimensional. We're multi-layered and there's so many things out here. And again, it's all about the exposure. It's all about, getting more visibility on what you're doing because people just need to know that there's something else out there. And I just love it because, and again, let me shout Linda Hunt out again. Thank you so much for introducing me because, honey, she was just like, listen, I just want to check and make sure, did you talk to Nicole? Did you connect with her? Listen, Linda going to make sure you're going to get exposed.
Yeah. She did the same thing. I want to make sure that you call. And yes, Miss Hunt. Yes, I'm going to call her. Yes, we talk. Yes, she's.
I know. I thought I was like, yes, she's on tonight, so make sure. So I'll make sure I tag her. So whether she catches it live or catches the replay, but just to know that you are out here doing your thing, and I see somebody else says, "Honey, teach that thing, Queen." Absolutely.
Thank
To
you.
see, again, it's just your passion and your heart, and I think that it's just a beautiful thing that you're doing. And I pray that God enlarges your territory. And I looked at the word invitational and international came out, so it wasn't like I was dyslexic or anything. I was looking at it, and so maybe that was just God saying ahead of time of where you are about to go, because I know that as you continue to sow seeds, the harvest will be plentiful in what you're doing.
Thank you. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was nervous. I was so nervous when we.
I know, yeah, honey. She was talking about, I'm nervous. Look, I used to got family. I was like, honey, you are going to be amazing, and you are absolutely.
Camera. Usually, I set my daughter up, or I set my arena director up, or I set somebody else. Usually, I don't come. Yeah, I stay kind of behind. So if you're able to, move and dodge and make your way through things, when it's not that I'm not proud of what I do. It's I want to be able to do it. I want to be able to, make sure that people are enjoying. I want to sit in the audience with you and just see what you see. And if it's something that I need to change, be able to change it. But you made me get on air and you didn't want anyone else. So I appreciate that. And Linda wouldn't allow anyone else.
Oh, honey, you was not going to have Miss Linda Hunt give me, listen. We already know. And I love Linda, honey. We haven't known each other long, but I just love her spirit. And I love how, she really supports and encourages, other women. And I think that that's just something that as women, we need to just continue to, uplift each other and support and encourage wherever it's at. So I'm most definitely going to make sure I connect you with Dior, because again, you're talking about the urban farmers. They need to know about an urban beekeeper down here in Georgia who is doing her thing. And you never know, again, where it's going to go. And we're going to make sure that we get you some additional exposure, so more people know about it. I saw TT on here. She's from Knoxville, Tennessee. So, I know they probably looking for a good rodeo there. So, anything that can happen. Let me see. Pianzo says, I love this. I'm from Kansas City and I grew up with Black Cowboys and
Rodeo.
to Black fun Found Black Rodeos. Okay, going to Black Rodeos. Okay, good. Yes. So P. Angela, so I'm gonna have to get you connected to the CEO district as well, because the ladies in there, P. Angela is part of that, Dior is part of that, Ilyas is part of that. So we need to get you connected so that we can help build, something around what you do. But yes, oh, TTC, yes, ma'am, we are ready. So, honey, yes, rodeos in Knoxville, Tennessee sounds like a good place to be.
That sounds amazing. Thank you, TT. That would be amazing.
Yes. Well, listen, I know I've got going across the screen. If you all need to find out more information, Nicole has gave me the website, which is www.midwest.invitational.rodeo.com. And so go check it out. Go see what they have going on. She has upcoming rodeo. So if you will give them more information about where the most recent one coming up on the 10th and 11th of June, where that's located and how they can get the tickets.
So you know what? You can get tickets on Eventbrite. We do it on Eventbrite. We also do day of show tickets. Tickets are going so well that it looks like we're going to sell out. And then also to just go on, just Google. There's rodeos that are coming. I definitely love my rodeo. I think that we do an amazing show. My staff is top notch. It's not my staff; it's my team. We do an amazing job. I really feel that. And there's other Black rodeos that are around that you can catch. There's some in Chicago. There's one that's going to be in Nashville or Lebanon, Tennessee, Black Rodeo USA.
Yes, my nephew lives in Lebanon, and so I'm gonna call and tell tell his dad to make sure he gets out there, because I was looking on the Facebook page or something. I saw where Lebanon is going to be one that's coming up. So yes, that's going to be
an American woman. Her name is Lynette, and she is doing a rodeo where she's going to be in Lebanon, and this should be an awesome show as well. It should be really good.
Nicole, will you be at that one in Lebanon?
No, because I am preparing for this one here in Detroit. I am ready, getting the vendors and everybody lined up and the organizations lined up. I won't have the opportunity. I wish I could, but no, I won't be at that one.
That's okay. I'm sure. Listen, I'm gonna have to make my way around to the rodeo so I can see what you guys are doing, because y'all are doing big things. And I just think, again, it's so amazing. And I'm just so appreciative of you coming on to share, a little bit about the Black Rodeo, Black Cowboys, how they are part of our heritage, how we need to be supportive and encouraging, and just find out more. Like she said, just Google, look up some information, because that is part of our history that we need to embrace. And they are out here making a difference. P.S. I need to add hosting a Black rodeo to my repertoire. Yes, ma'am, you do. You do.
That's all you have to do is call me and we'll put it together for you. And you could be the biggest, best host that we have. Just put it on. But you got to wear your cowboy boots. You got to have the attire. Yeah.
Oh, listen, we in the half. Listen, we're gonna find us a good cowboy hat, honey. Dior, I'm gonna need you to get on that, ma'am, and design us some good CEO cowboy hats. Listen, we get us some boots and come on out there and show up and show out, right?
Yes, that's my term. Yes, show up and show out.
So listen, Nicole, we're about to wrap it up, but anything that you want to say to the audience before we leave?
You know what, the audience and to you, thank you so much. Just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for sharing this with me. Thank you for doing what you do, because without you, we wouldn't know. People wouldn't know. And creating your Shiro group, your group. It's a group for women that support women, that help women get to the next level. Because what we go through, the mental illness and single parenthood and all the things that we do, for us to come ever and be like, you know what, sister, I love you, I like you, I encourage you. To be able to do that, you never know where somebody is or their headspace. And to pick up the phone and just say, how you doing? No, really, how are you doing? Let me help you. I don't need anything. This is what we need to continue to do to get our kids there to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so honored and grateful. And so, honey, we're gonna make sure we stay in contact. I'm laughing because P. Angela's like, honey, she coming with her hat and her boots on, baby. So listen, you're gonna see us somewhere. We're gonna make sure we try to support you in some kind of way, because again, I think it's just amazing what you're doing. And definitely we'll be in contact. But everybody, make sure you follow the
Midwest Invitation.
Midwest International. Look, I'm sorry. Look, I ain't sorry, but look, I'm gonna put it out there again. The Midwest Invitational, but I'm saying international because it's gonna be internationally known, and they're gonna be all over the world. And honey, doing rodeos and letting people know how phenomenal the Black Cowboys are. So, Nicole, again, thank you so much. Linda Hunt, thank you for introducing us and getting us connected so that people can hear more about it. And so, everyone, make sure if you're coming on late, share the broadcast out or tag someone who you know has a young person in their household, or even an adult that needs to hear about our heritage and what's going on, and open up their minds to just the possibilities of what we can do as a culture. So I love it, and thank you again for coming to share.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
All right, you as well. All right, everybody, y'all have a good night, and we will see you next Thursday for the iShine podcast. Be blessed.